party with me.
Okay, I'm down.
But I know you're down because that's why we are what we are.
Yes.
Okay? We
Yes.
need to let them know what we are, but I need to let them know who you are. You are Miss Keandra Jackson. You are a therapist. You are on the Huffington Post for you are on the list, excuse me, the list of 10 black female therapists you should know. That means that you should be calling her. Like, they should be picking up their phone. Like, your phone should be ringing right now. They need to know you. Why do they need to know you? Let us know a little bit about you.
Hey, well, like she said, my name is Keandra Jackson. I am the visionary and CEO of KW Couples Therapy.
Wow.
I am also the co-founder of Black Speakers Rock and KW Essential Services. I do a lot, Whitney. I do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot.
You just call me Whitney. You tapped into my inner Whitney.
Like Whitney Houston?
Oh. Did you see something in me?
I did.
With somebody. Hey, I wanna be with some. You saw it again? You saw it right now? Okay. Anyways, keep going. So it sounds like you're killing it.
Yeah, I mean, things have been just going utterly amazing since this Huffington Post article.
Wow.
I mean, you talked about my phone ringing off the hook. It literally has been ringing off the hook, and I'm so grateful and so blessed to be able to share with the world my passion for mental health and for couples. So yeah, this has been an amazing journey for me.
Yeah.
And I am excited about what's to come.
I'm excited to have you on today. And so we're just going to dive right into it. So let's
do
go.
it.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, I wish that somebody would have told me that when I was going crazy. Okay? I mean, I don't know if I told you this, but part of my testimony, I had a period of time, like growing up the only child. I mean, girl, like not I see dead people type of thing, but I really had some seriously, really rough moments.
Yeah.
I went through depression. I really didn't know how to kind of muddle through my identity, being Jamaican, white, black. People telling me I'm this, I'm adopted, all these things.
Yeah.
And so I wish somebody would have explained how to deal with depression. I feel like people easily label it, and it's very easy, when you see those depression commercials, and they,
big time.
they're walking in the valley and they're like, depression hurts, But I mean, I totally get it. But how do you walk through depression? How do you get yourself to a place to where you're like, I can actually live and you get through this?
That's actually very common. A lot of people suffer from mental illness, and especially depression and anxiety. That's something that's super common. So the first thing that I like to do is really normalize things. We go through stuff. Life is so difficult, right? And with that being said, it's hard to navigate sometimes. And sometimes you just need someone to be with you on that journey. So the first thing that I would tell someone is to check in with themselves. And by checking in with themselves, I want you to know what has changed in your life.
So good.
First thing, am I sleeping better or worse? Is my eating habits changing? Am I isolating myself from my friends and my family? Am I feeling sadness, hopeless, suicidal thoughts? All of those things, when you check in with yourself and you really realize, you know what? I'm not my normal self. This is not something that I would typically do, or this is not me. Then that's when you would say, okay, this is getting a little bit further than what I need it to be, and I need to seek help.
Okay.
Definitely.
Can I, and I want to elaborate on that, checking in, because I think that sometimes I'll kind of talk, I'm not a therapist, but anyway.
You're not?
Girl, if I was a therapist, I'd make that big money, you know what I'm saying? No, but what I can say is that a lot of times I'll talk to people and I'll say the check-ins, things like that, and I'll use that language. But one of the things that I think is thrown around a lot is this self-care idea.
Oh, yeah.
And so self-care for most people is get a massage and get your nails done. Now, mind you, I'm including myself in that.
Oh, yeah.
So I will do self-care. I'll get my nails done. I'll get my hair done. I'll do those things, and I'll still feel depleted. I will still feel like, okay, sometimes I'm lacking energy, whatever, and I realize, okay, I'm not doing this soul care that probably these therapists are talking about.
Absolutely.
So what kind of things do I do then? Do I need a journal? What does that look like?
Absolutely. I think self-care comes in many forms, right? And I'm guilty of it too. I get my nails done, get my hair done, I got to get my twist out, I got to get jewelry.
Which is looking fabulous, by the way.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
All right.
It's just spending time sometimes with whether it's going to a movie, just doing things that you wouldn't typically do, but you need to do it for yourself sometimes. But for me, I like to think of self-care as a moment when you're by yourself, when you have the time for everything else around you to kind of like, not necessarily disappear, but calm down. You get to see and to visualize your own thoughts and your own feelings. And the best place to be is when you're by yourself, because that's where you get a lot of clarity sometimes. And that's where I was talking about the checking in with yourself. So I love journaling. Journaling is bae. right? I will sit down, I will write my thoughts, my feelings, things that happen from the day. No one gets to see this but me, right? And so it's just a way to release and to get things out. And it's something very simple. You can go to Dollar Tree or, you know, the 99-cent store and pick up a journal. And it's a way to really just change things. Not necessarily change things, but just get things out. And it's a way of tracking as well. And by tracking, I also mean like you can look back and say what happened last week or a year ago or 6 months ago and be able to say, okay, this is progress or these are areas where I need to make improvements.
Closing, especially with this being Mental Health Awareness Month. I hope I said it right. That's like a mouthful.
You did.
Okay. Bless my mental health. Amen. You praying for me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Really. Oh, no, we're not.
Oh, not right now?
Sorry,
Okay. Okay.
I didn't even realize you put your hand there.
I had to join you in prayer.
That was good. I felt that. So, in closing, what would you like America, the people, to know about mental health? In closing, what thought do you think could they walk away with and say, wow, that really catapulted me to really take my mental health serious?
I think the number one thing that I want to convey to everyone is that we need to start treating mental health like we treat our physical health. Right? With our physical health, we get checkups, we exercise, we eat right, we do all of those things. But what are we doing to make sure that our mental health is good? So that's the main thing that I want to convey. It's like, let's start treating our mental health just like we would our physical health, just checking in with ourselves. When we notice something is not right, let's check on that. When you have a medical issue, you go to a medical doctor, don't you? Okay, so if you're having a mental health issue, maybe you should seek out some professional help. So that's the main thing that I wanted to convey.
And I would even, piggybacking off of that, say, especially for people involved in church or very spiritual people, or I would say even prideful people. So I don't want to just make it seem like it's just Christians, but I think just people in general really need to do a better job, like you said, on making sure that they find out who can be there to help them. I think not everybody is perfect for everyone. So sometimes people will say, oh, you got your mama and you got this person. But really do the work. Like Ian, you would say, shout out to her. But she always tells you, do the work. And it is work. I think even for me, when I finally got out of the space of just focusing intrinsically on what is going on with me, what I felt like I was born with, what I couldn't get out of, when I stopped and I said, I have to seek out someone. I have to figure out who I feel safe with. Who I can trust. And that may look different for everybody. But someone that has already come out of my issue, because you don't want to go to somebody who's on the same level, you know what I mean? Right, we both kind of pouring back into each other, the same thing. But somebody who's either overcome or a mentor or professional help. And so I've had appointments where I've sat down with people. And I've not done the therapist thing. I think we kind of talked. I think I alluded to it. You saw I slid that in one time. I was like, you know what, girl, I just need someone I can talk to. Amen. So, you know, I'm going to be calling. But on a serious note, though, I think it's just very important that we do that, and for Christians to really understand that there is work that needs to be done, not just in the spirit, but in the natural. And that as much as we can pray and we can believe that God is going to do something, some people maybe do need to just sit down with someone. And some people maybe need to start with a little medicine. Maybe you don't take the full dose. But if you are struggling in any way with a serious mental health issue, I think that we need to take it more serious, and that we need to do what we need to.
Say that again? The part about taking medication?
Oh, okay, I said do what we need to do. Taking our mental health more serious.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
And sometimes that means taking medication. And that's okay, especially in the church and spirituality and all of those things. Like, they make you feel, or sometimes people make you feel, I don't want to include everyone, that if you're taking medication, then you don't have enough faith, you know, or you're not believing enough, you know what I mean? But you can go see a therapist, you can take medication and still be full of faith, still be anointed, sanctified, filled with the Holy Spirit. All of that is not mutually exclusive. And I think we tend to separate those things a lot of the time, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
And I think that there's a difference too between making a goal and saying that I eventually am going to get off medication. I know people that have been told by their doctors they're diabetic, they're on insulin, and in some cases that you run the risk of, if you say, oh no, medication, like it can be detrimental to your health, and that's fatal, so we're not recommending that. But maybe making a goal and saying, okay, by the end of the year when I lose this weight, then I will say I'm going to get off the medication, or when I change my eating habits, or when I begin to do healthy tips and get around the right accountability and begin to exercise and do certain things, because there's even things that we can actually do in our physical body to help our mental, and I think exercise is one of those.
Exercise is huge, especially for someone who's struggling with depression. Literally, like, studies have shown that exercising regularly, I believe it's like 3 to 4 times a week, can be just as effective as taking medication for depression.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
And don't they include healthy eating as well?
Healthy eating, diet, making sure you know your triggers, like positive coping skills. Like I feel like all of those things, we tend to isolate them and just look at one thing, but we're a whole being, right? We have mind, body, spirit. I mean, we need to cater to all aspects of our life. And so in regards to mental health, we need to start doing the same thing. And just like you mentioned just now, you know, like if someone's diabetic and they're taking insulin, we would never tell them not to take their insulin because we know what that would do to their body. Yeah. Okay, well, why would we tell people who are on medication just to stop taking their medication cold turkey?
Right.
Like that's not healthy either.
Exactly.
So that's what I mean when we say we need to make sure that we're treating our mental health just like our physical.
That's so good. That's so good. All right, so since we're ending, where can we find you? I know I'm getting sad. I'm like,
I'm sad.
But we're going to do lunch.
We're doing
lunch. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
want to do anything.
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't. If I didn't have something to do, we should have set it up better so we could have.
We should have.
This is so
Yeah, we need to do better.
This time when you have your own show, you're like, I'm going to just have a personal moment. Excuse me. Anyways. But how can we find you? Tell us about your social media. Do you have anything coming up?
Absolutely. So I am on Facebook and Instagram as Keandra Jackson. You can follow me on both of my pages. I also have my business pages, KW Essential Services. You can follow me there as well. And I have an amazing Black Speakers Rock group for those who are authors, poets, speakers. And if you're using your words, period, just to, you know, shed light positively, you can always join that group as well. I have a few, more than a few upcoming events. But this upcoming week, I will be speaking at the Love CEO Institute about relationships. Oh. Because you know I love that stuff too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
you do. That's a whole nother conversation.
That is a whole nother conversation. You're going to have to bring me back for that.
I know. I'm definitely. You coming back. You coming back. You're going to be like Dr. Robin. Remember Dr. Robin on the show?
Hey.
Come on. All right. So I need you to throw your W up. All right. This is for the Whitley